So today I will participate in a read aloud and have discussions with my elbow buddies. And then so I can answer questions using evidence from the read aloud. And I'm going to know you have it when you answer the comprehension questions and you complete the exit slip at the end. The objective of my lesson today was to have the students really answer their questions based on the text that I was reading. But I really wanted to dig deeper into that, and I was going to have the students provide evidence, so they had to really go back into the text and provide evidence to answer their questions. We have some questions that we need to work on answering. So we're going to do our comprehension questions, and I'm going to have you work with your elbow buddies during this time. So the first one is, with your partner, think of the 3 characteristics of a fable. Okay, go ahead.
They have personification and it shows, and it has a moral.
What makes up a fable? Let's see, there's 3 of them. Sophia?
Short.
It's a short story. Excellent. Does anyone else have anything?
It has a moral.
It has a moral. What is a moral?
Lesson.
It's a lesson that the character has to learn. Excellent. Let's see if Kyler can get the 3rd characteristic of a fable.
Personification.
Did you hear that word he just used? He said personification. Excellent. For me personally, I've had to take a step back and really stop and think about the questions and dig deeper. Instead of doing basic literal questions, I really want the students to dig deeper into the text, so I come up with additional questions that really push the students into providing the evidence or clues that they see in the picture along with the text. Here's a tricky question. What is personification? Kyler?
As animal that acts like people.
It's an animal that acts like people. Now, I'm going to have you turn to your elbow buddies, and you have to find a piece of evidence to support that this fox was acting like a person. Okay, so turn to your buddies and go ahead and ask.
That's fake because foxes can't really talk.
A lot of the students were eager to say, yes, it was the fox that was the character, but I wanted to know why. So I had the students stop and think about it. All eyes up here for me. What do you see? What are some pictures you see or objects that you see? So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to take a peek at this. Ready? Go ahead. Perfect. Eyes back on me. I have a couple questions that I need to ask you. I'm going to give you 2 questions, and you're going to work with your elbow buddies when I give you the signal. Here's the first question. I'm going to ask you, what character did you see in this picture? After you answer that, then you're going to answer, what is the character doing? Or what is he thinking? Okay, I'm going to have you turn to your elbow buddies and ask your partner, who's the character? What are they doing? Go ahead.
What's the character and what are they doing? The fox. The fox. The fox wants to eat the grapes.
What do you see in that picture? What clues do you have?
He's looking at them. He's looking at them.
Perfect. Eyes on me. I heard some great discussions happening. So I'm going to call in a group, and I'm going to have Avery tell me in a complete sentence what her partner said. So here's the question. What character do you see?
My partner Octavius said he sees the fox.
And here's the second question. What is the character doing? Octavius, can you tell me what Avery said?
Avery said the fox was trying to eat him.
Eat what?
The berries.
The berries? How do you know? What did she say? What evidence did she see in this picture?
Because the fox was looking at the berries.
You can see him looking right at the berries. The students were able to listen to me read a fable to them, but then they did a lot of the speaking, and when they did the speaking, they had to provide the key details from each question and support it with the evidence from the picture or what they saw. I'm going to read the read aloud to you 2 different times. Okay? The first time I want you to just listen, and I want you to have your eyes on the picture the whole time. Really make a connection to what I'm saying to the picture. Okay, so you're going to just listen the first time. Are you ready? Okay. One hot summer day, a fox was strolling along when he noticed a bunch of juicy grapes. He trotted back a few steps, and then he ran forward and he jumped, just missing those grapes. He turned around and tried again. 1, 2, 3, go! And all of a sudden, he ran and he lunged. He moved forward suddenly at the grapes, but again, he missed them. Again, he tried to pluck or pull off those grapes from the vine, but then he gave up. How do you think the fox feels about giving up and missing the grapes? Sophia?
Sad.
Can you support why? What evidence from the story did you hear?
Because he couldn't get the grapes.
And he just
Missed.
them and he gave up. Why do you think the fox would walk away after trying so hard to get those grapes?
Because he was mad.
How do you know? What clues or evidence did you hear or see in this picture or story?
Because he walked away with his nose in the air.
He held that nose so high in the air. Show me. How did he hold his nose? Oh, so high in the air. Thank you. The Common Core shift has changed my behavior because I have to learn to take a step back. I have to learn to let the students be in control of their own learning to a certain extent. I have to learn to not only say, here's the answer, and move on. I really have to stop and think and say, why did we come up with this? Why are we deciding to do this? What are we going to do with the information that we're gathering? Is this fable real, nonfiction, or is it make-believe fiction? But then you have to tell me why. So first you have to think, is this story nonfiction or is it fiction? And then you're going to provide evidence to support why it is real or why it's fiction. So Kyler, can you tell me, is this fable real or is it make-believe?
It's fiction.
Oh, look at that word he used. It is fiction. Can you provide evidence of why it's fiction?
It's fiction because animals can't really talk.
Great job, Kyler. Now, we talked earlier about a moral or a lesson that the fox had to learn. So I'm going to have you turn to your elbow buddies, and I want you to ask them, what lesson did the fox learn? Okay, go ahead.
He was feeling mad because he didn't get them.
Show me you're ready.
Then he shouldn't say harsh words about them because he couldn't get them.
Eyes on me. Octavius, I heard some great words that you were using. You were using vocabulary words, and you gave me evidence from the story. So can you answer the question, what moral did the fox learn?
Not to speak harsh words about the berries.
Why?
Because he just couldn't get them.
Yes, he shouldn't speak badly about the grapes just because he couldn't get them, right? I really had the students stop and think about it, and they had to go back and really pick out evidence. And I didn't move on to a new question until the student was able to pull a single piece of evidence from the fable and support their claim. Why does the fox walk away with his nose to the air and call the grapes sour? Turn to your buddies.
Because he gave up. Because he's mad.
Eyes on me. So underneath your picture, you're going to find a piece of paper that looks like this. There's a spot for your name. It has a question, a box, and places to write your answer. So the first step, write your name on top for me. I'm going to read the question to you. It says, why does the fox lunge and jump at the grapes? Now this is done by yourselves, okay? So think back to what you were listening to when I was reading the fable. Why was the fox lunging and jumping towards the grapes? Why was he lunging towards the grapes, Bauer?
You was lunging because he was hungry.
Perfect. I have seen my students change through the Common Core shift and really tying in all of what they're taking from the domains into writing, and then they take it into reading. So the students are able to relate more to what we're learning, and they're really working on making the connections.